Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Black Ops 6, and it finally happened! For the first time in what feels like over a month, we have a slow news day when it comes to the COD franchise. Now, don't let that trick you into thinking that everything is good. All the problems are still very much apparent as you guys are watching from these clips right here. I found these over on the Black Ops 6 subreddit today, and as you guys can see, the hamster wheel servers that Activision are running the game on are still struggling like crazy. I've been reading a lot that for some reason, and apparently this is kind of a relatively new problem, but the Oceanic servers especially are just falling apart right now. Like, nobody is having a good experience on those servers because Activision cheaps out on them. If it's an area of the world that doesn't have a ton of players, then they're going to have less servers running over there. But even here in America or over in the UK or England, the same problem keeps happening. Activision is far too cheap to provide their players stable servers to play on, which is yet another reason why the player numbers keep going down. Yes, indeed, they went down even further today. Are they ever going to gain players on Black Ops 6? Like, it's actually getting pretty freaking bad. But finally, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get into it. It looks like we finally are starting to get our skill data sent to us by Activision. I highly recommend you guys check your email. I check mine every single day, and of course, nothing's been sent to me yet, but I'm reading online that a few people are finally starting to get their skill data sent over, and it's really interesting to look through. Here we have a few different things that we can look at from two different players of two different skill levels. The first player here has an average skill rating of about 160 with a lifetime elimination death ratio of 1.38 within Black Ops 6. It feels kind of crazy to say, but with how skill-based matchmaking works, 1.38 is actually pretty damn good by comparison. And as we look at the chart right here, we can see that the overall skill rating has slowly gone up over time, but also has some crazy peaks and valleys. And this can be caused by a lot of things. Maybe they were working on launcher challenges, which are dreadful and painful, and I highly recommend just ignoring those if you can within Black Ops 6. They're so freaking bad. Or, you know, maybe they're working on pistol challenges or whatever, and that caused their skill rating to plummet. Then maybe they were locking in, which caused their skill rating to go way up. Now, what's crazy about this to me is how drastically Activision can have a skill level change within their game. Now, assuming that these numbers at the bottom are the number of matches played, you can have a skill rating of something like 20, and then 10 matches later have a skill rating of 300, which for context, that is somewhere around what Exclusive A seems to hover at when he plays, and he's a damn good player, right? So you can go anywhere from like a 20 skill rating up to a 300 skill rating in just a couple of games. Like, what a drastic change that is. But then we can see here that in recent times, say maybe the last 200 matches or so, this person's skill rating has sort of evened out as it hovers around like, 175 up to 250, and therein lies the biggest problem with skill-based matchmaking. Unless you're doing things to manipulate the matchmaking algorithm, like backing out of all of your lobbies or intentionally dying, or maybe just working on really bad weapons like melees or rocket launchers, the system will eventually get enough information on you and your lobbies will essentially just always be the same. Instead of having that fluctuation and variety in your matchmaking experience, instead you just hover around the same skill rating. Sometimes it'll go up and you'll get shit on, sometimes it'll go down and you'll get fed an easy lobby and you just know they gave you an easy lobby because of how the matchmaking works. And worst of all, you'll occasionally get into those matches where you just know that you were designed to fail. Like, how many times have you guys felt like when you joined a match, you play for like 30 seconds or so, and you can just tell, you feel it in your loins that this match was specifically designed to fuck you and you alone. You had no chance of winning. The game is just essentially set up for you to fail, and that's because of how this matchmaking system works. It changes your ratings based on your recent performances. Even when the graph gets consistent, like we see here towards the very end, you can still see the skill rating fluctuating quite a bit. So just to make up an example, one match you might be playing at like a 200 skill rating, and then suddenly the next match you're in a 300 skill rating lobby, and that jump is going to feel super noticeable, and the system will slowly lower you back down once it knows that you took your medicine for having the audacity to pop off in one of your matches, and then the process will start all over again. Here we have some more information from another player who got their data sent to them. They have a lifetime elimination death ratio of 0.9 with an average skill rating of negative 73.95. So this system here is set up in a way that it doesn't just start from 0 and go up. It can actually go anywhere from, let's say, like negative 3 to 500 all the way up to positive 3 to 500. And I'm sure there's some reason for why they track it this way, but that just goes to show how tightly they can track your skill level and place you with similar players. It's not a matter of, say, having a skill rating of like 1 through 5, which is like pretty simple to understand, but rather it's very sophisticated and it tracks absolutely everything when it comes to your player and how you play, which we can see within the post itself. Now, I'm about to have to read off a whole bunch of stuff stuff here, but I'm going to try my best to go quickly. In Black Ops 6, they are tracking your timestamp, the account type, the device type, the game type, the match ID, the match start timestamp, the match end timestamp, the map, the team, the match outcome, the operator skin, the execution, your skill, your score, your shots, your hits, your assists, your longest streak, your kills, deaths, headshots, executions, suicides, damage done, damage taken, armor collected, armor equipped, armor destroyed, ground vehicles used, air vehicles used, percentage of time moving, total XP, score XP, challenge XP, match XP, medal XP, bonus XP, miscellaneous XP, accolade XP, weapon XP, operator XP, clan XP, battle pass XP, rank at start, rank at end, XP at start, XP at end, score at start, score at end, prestige at start, prestige at end, lifetime wallbangs, lifetime games played, lifetime time played, lifetime wins, lifetime losses, lifetime kills, lifetime deaths, lifetime hits, lifetime misses, and lifetime near misses. My goodness, ladies and gentlemen, all of this goes into the equation when determining your skill rating, which is why skill-based matchmaking is so damn thick here within Black Ops 6 and Warzone. I hate it so much when people come out of the woodwork and say, you know, Black Ops 2 had skill-based matchmaking as well. The fuck it did, dude. Compared to like what we have here, like if they tried to balance out your lobbies a little bit with team balancing in Black Ops 2, that is nowhere near what they're doing here in Black Ops 6 and likely what they've been doing ever since Call of Duty Vanguard, because allegedly you get all your information dating back to Vanguard when you get your email from Activision, man. You are comparing apples to oranges if you think a game like COD 4 had the same skill-based matchmaking bullshit that we have here in Black Ops 6. It does not make any sense whatsoever. The game modes you play also affect the system as well, apparently. So if you say play red light, green light for a while, for some reason that may actually tank your skill rating, which is really weird because I saw the same thing happening with an X-Defiant a couple of months ago. When I played normally, my skill rating in that game, which the game had a pretty terrible combat record overall, but it gave you a skill rating and we never really knew what that meant. My skill rating was like around 4,000, give or take, but then I started playing Bomb, which is their version of Search and Destroy, and for some reason that cut my skill rating in half. And this wasn't because, you know, I was like playing poorly or I'm terrible at the game mode or whatever. I was getting my kills, my plants, my diffuses. Here's an ace you guys are watching here in the video. I did pretty good. Like normally I was top 2 or 3 in every single lobby, but something about that game mode caused my rating to plummet, and apparently the same thing is true within Black Ops 6. So game modes can definitely mess things up quite a bit, or perhaps when that happens, it's an indicator that that particular game mode does not have skill-based matchmaking in it, because the person that gave us their chart there, they had a lifetime average skill rating of like 160 or so. Well, it went down to negative 179 while playing red light, green light. So I really don't know what to make of that, but what I do know is that when you play COD, your skill rating is so precisely tracked that you always feel like you're playing the same match over and over. There may be some variety here and there when it comes to your opponents, but in general, if they have roughly the same skill rating as you, then they probably do most of the same stuff that you do. They probably have a similar accuracy. They probably have the same amount of time spent moving per match as you do. They probably on average take as much damage per game as you do and everything else, right? And this is one of the fundamental problems with skill-based matchmaking as a whole. It strips away the entire variety that made Call of Duty so much fun in the first place. I miss being able to hop on and just play against essentially people from my area. I would see my progress like in real time. Like I could just look at the scoreboard and like notice how I'm playing. You know, I could watch myself get better and better on average and go from that guy at the bottom or maybe the middle of the leaderboard to consistently being up towards the top. With skill-based matchmaking in the graphs that we've seen so far, they essentially just keep moving the goalpost on you. If you're doing bad, you get easier lobbies. If you're doing well, you get harder lobbies. The game dynamically changes all the time to make sure that you essentially have the same experience each and every game. Now, for some reason, Activision thinks that's a good thing. They've said so many times. They claim that with tighter matches, players feel more engaged and are less likely to leave the game, and less people leaving the game is good. And if you have people backing out too much, it messes with the entire matchmaking system. But I'm just going to come out and say it right here, guys. It's fucking boring. That's it. Like, it's boring to have the same experiences over and over when I play an online video game. What made older Call of Duty's fun was that you had variety in each and every match. No two matches really felt the same, and the matchmaking here in Black Ops 6 feels automated. It feels so generic. It feels lifeless, you know, compared to what we used to have back in the day. It feels like I'm playing against AI clones of myself all the time. The only real variable is occasionally when people decide they want to do challenges. So I'll be playing against a guy who plays just like like me, but maybe he's getting headshots on a sniper rifle in that particular match, or maybe he's working on a light machine gun, or maybe working on a daily challenge. The problem with that is now that we're getting further into the Black Ops 6 lifecycle, that variety in playstyle is becoming more and more rare. Most camo grinders are done, or at the very least, they're pretty close to being done. So once you have all your camos, you're just back to using your favorite guns, and every single match, all you see are assault rifles and submachine guns. Everybody's butt sliding, everybody's tryharding, and you can even see what looks to be an example of that on this chart right here. Look how drastically the skill levels were changing throughout the initial stages of the Black Ops 6 lifecycle. This player might have been working on the camo grind, or maybe there was just more variety in general with how the community was playing back then, but over the past like 200 plus matches or so, things have really evened out a ton, which likely were all recorded during the massive downward spiral of Black Ops 6 over the course of the past month or so. If everybody else is experiencing the same situation as this player, where the skill rating isn't fluctuating nearly as much as it used to, then every single match is going to feel the same. And I think it's fair to assume that people are fed up with skill-based matchmaking as a whole, along with all the other issues being piled on top of that. A broken anti-cheat, AI voice moderation, which bans pretty much anybody who speaks, server instability, and massive amounts of packet burst and lag, despite the game lying to us and saying that our ping is fine. We have broken events, broken operators, broken weapon attachments, broken guns, broken challenges, broken everything else, and when you combine all of that, it creates a recipe for disaster, which is exactly what happened to Black Ops 6 and Warzone. So the question remains, what, if anything, is Activision going to be doing about this? That is the trillion with a T dollar question that we ask ourselves each and every day, but like I mentioned earlier in the video, nothing really happened today in terms of news or anything like that besides people's skill-based matchmaking data coming out, so we're likely going to be waiting a while before we start to really hear from Activision and Treyarch and before things start to transpire. So as always, I'll be here to guys every step of the way and update you as soon as that information comes out. So be sure to sub if you guys are new around here. I hope you all enjoyed this video here today. Leave your thoughts and feedback down there in the comments. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.